This is episode number 18 of the Inland Empire Workers' Compensation Lawyer live stream podcast, broadcasting live every Sunday at 3 p.m., discussing a new topic in workers' compensation and employment rights. My name is Attorney Alexander Napolin. I'm joined here by Attorney George Abuado, and today we're discussing the common mistakes that workers make after experiencing an injury at work that hurt their workers' compensation cases. So if you've been injured at work or you work in California, you need to listen to the short 10-minute discussion that we put together that's going to help you understand your legal rights. But remember, it's general information only. This is not legal advice. If you've been injured at work and you're looking for legal advice, you need to call our injury helpline by dialing 844-984-8414 and requesting a free and confidential case evaluation. So, George, what are these common mistakes that injured workers make, the ones we were discussing, the ones that you've seen, that we want to let our viewers know about?
Right. So these are very common mistakes, and some can hurt your claim more than others, but they're made very commonly, and sometimes people don't even know that they're making that mistake. So we want to point them out. We want you to, keep your eyes open when you have your claim going and try not to make these mistakes because it can hinder your claim. Not only that, but some of these mistakes can compound and make your claim go south really quickly. So the first mistake we're going to talk about is just not following recommended treatment. You have a PTP, they recommend that you follow a certain course of treatment and you don't. Now, what could happen if you don't follow this recommended treatment? Well, number one, maybe you don't get better. And that is actually going to affect you physically, mentally, in your pocket, and overall with your claim. So that's not good. If you're not getting better and you're not able to go back out to work or you're not able to proceed with your claim, that's not a good position to be in. But also, if you don't follow this recommended treatment, then in a deposition or further down the line, the doctor can put that in his report. And now it's a question of why aren't you following the treatment that the doctor recommended for you so you can get better?
What's another mistake that injured workers make?
Well, another mistake is not getting a second opinion. So they were injured. Maybe they did everything correct from the beginning. They reported the injury. The employer or the adjuster sent them to a doctor. They're being seen. They're getting the recommended treatment. But now the doctor's saying, well, you're good to go back to work. Or your restrictions are going to be lifted. You have no restrictions. You can go back to work. Or you're just not agreeing with the restrictions that are given. Whatever the case might be, you don't have to take that, and you don't have to take it at face value. You can get a second opinion. We've discussed this in other videos. Go back and take a look at our videos. They're very insightful. But a QME, Qualified Medical Examiner, is an option that you have. If your primary treating physician is saying something that you don't agree with, you think they might be off a little bit, or your body is just telling you, hey, they're not right, I need to go see another doctor, you can request a panel qualified medical examiner. For more information on that, please watch the video that deals with panel qualified medical examiners and agreed medical examiners. But always remember, you can get a second opinion. Mistake number 3 is accepting a settlement from your adjuster without an attorney or too early on in the negotiations. The insurance company wants to pay you as little as possible, and obviously you want to get the most compensation you possibly can. So how do we do this? Please check out our other video that deals with settlements because we talk a lot about this. We're going to just tell you why this is a mistake, accepting the first settlement on this video. But if you're really interested in settlements, how they work, what you can do, check out our other video as well. But accepting a settlement that is given to you by the adjuster, the first settlement, is horrible because that is a settlement that they're giving you, hoping that you'll take it, but they have more money in their pocket to give you. And if you don't know this and you don't know how to leverage that extra money without an attorney, then that is a huge mistake. So once again, like we discussed before in other videos, yeah, you are paying an attorney fee for the services provided by the attorney, but more often than not, and I'm thinking pretty close to every single time, that's going to be covered by the extra money the attorney gives you. You're actually going to end up with much more money in your pocket because you obtained an attorney. Whereas if you settle on your own and you don't know how to negotiate, you don't know how to leverage whatever is in your case, whatever things you can leverage to obtain more money, then you're going to be missing out on a lot of money, and it's usually thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So you're really taking money out of your own pocket if you make this mistake. Take the first settlement and don't obtain an attorney's advice.
What's the next mistake that people are making that we've seen a lot of?
Well, as we discussed, I think in one of our videos, Alex, when you get a request for authorization from your doctor and it goes to the adjuster, sometimes it gets denied right off the bat. So I think one mistake that people don't understand, and especially if they don't have an attorney, is you can appeal those decisions. You can appeal a lot of things in your workers' compensation claim. So mistake number 4 is not appealing decisions in general, but medically requested treatment. You have to appeal when it's denied. You have to have that in your record that you appealed it. And then that'll stay in there, even if you don't win the appeal, which you probably will. But if you don't win the appeal, you'll have that appeal in there. And when you move on to other doctors, maybe a QME, he'll review that and he'll be like, hey, maybe they did need this treatment, and he'll recommend it. And now you'll get that treatment. So a lot of different scenarios could happen, but a mistake is not even trying at all. You have to appeal denied medical treatment, and you can also appeal a lot of other things. So appeal.
A lot of these mistakes happen because you don't have a lawyer, but some people, they hire a lawyer and then they make some mistakes.
Right.
So I think we were discussing just dishonesty between the client and an attorney. Like you said, you can help your client do a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah.
And workers' compensation law can be very forgiving. But what's a mistake that someone makes that they shouldn't do?
Is lying to your attorney. Listen, there's two people they should never, ever lie to. Is a doctor and your attorney. And in a workers' compensation claim, you're actually dealing with both, right? And the reasoning I give is because if you lie to your doctor and maybe you smoke, but you tell them, oh, no, doctor, I don't smoke at all. How are they going to be able to diagnose you correctly or provide you with the right treatment? Or maybe there's a drug that interacts with smoking that's really going to affect you. And now they prescribed it, but you can't take it. So never lie to your doctor ever. And never lie to your attorney, because your attorney's here to help. Another mistake, we'll just add it as a bonus, not looking for an attorney as soon as possible. Because once again, if you bring your case to an attorney after a year of treatment or a year that the case has been going on, we have to backtrack a lot to fix mistakes that the ones we're talking about that you've committed or you've done, or maybe a previous attorney has done. So it's always best to go see an attorney as soon as possible. Go see the right one that will point you in the right direction and kind of hold your hand throughout the whole case and show you what you need to do and what mistakes not to make. Because once those mistakes are made, some of them can be reversed, some of them can't. The last thing I want to kind of finish with is two things: lying about your ADLs. I'll explain what that is in a second, and about your injury. So once again, we talked about don't lie to your attorney, don't lie to your doctor, but this could be to anyone. Maybe in a deposition, your activities of daily living. What are those? Hey, can you cook? Can you do laundry? Can you do chores? Can you do yard work? Can you go to the grocery store? Those are activities of daily living that you're going to be asked about by your doctor. You're going to be asked about that during a deposition, maybe during a trial. You don't want to lie about that. And I'll give you a quick example. Maybe you usually can't take out the trash. Every Tuesday, the trash comes, you have to take it out. And you tell the defense attorney during your deposition, I don't do any household chores. I just can't because my back hurts so much. But you actually did take out the trash one time, and that one time they recorded you. Now you're caught lying under oath. We already talked about that. Fraud, perjury. So you don't want to lie about your activities of daily living because if you get caught, that could damage your credibility, and you won't be able to repair that. So that's a huge, huge mistake. Always be honest. If you have trouble doing something, definitely say, I have trouble doing that. I might be able to do it, or I have done it once or twice, but I don't feel like comfortable doing that type of thing. So you don't have to lie about it. You can explain your situation. Then if you get caught doing it once or twice, then we can explain that away. But you do not want to lie when you're able to do something, or when you know you've done something, and say you can't do it or you've never done it, because that could damage your reputation. That could tank your case immediately and get you in very hot water where you could be doing some jail time and heavy fines. So that's one thing. Last thing goes hand in hand with that is you get caught performing activities that go against your restrictions. So maybe at work, they give you restrictions of no lifting heavier than 20 pounds. And now you're at home and you're in your front yard and you lift something above your head that's 50 pounds. Well, if for some reason they're doing sub rosa, go check out our video on sub rosa. Then now, once again, credibility is shot. Possible fraud, possible perjury if you've already testified about that under oath in a deposition. So don't get caught performing activities that go directly against your work restrictions. Always stay within, and that goes hand in hand with following treatment, right? Because it's part of your treatment. I think that's the heavy don'ts that we're going to cover today, Alex. The biggest mistakes, most common mistakes that someone with a workers' compensation claim can make, and I think that that's going to help people out a lot. If they just keep mindful of these things, that your claim could go a lot better.
Well, that's it for this week's discussion on the mistakes that injured workers make that hurt their workers' compensation cases. If you've been injured at work and you're looking for legal advice, give our injury helpline a call, request a free and confidential case evaluation. Dial 844-984-8414.